Hi, I'm Rocky, a learning design coach here at Aula. And during your Aula journey, you will work with a learning design coach like me to design and deliver your module on the Aula platform. To set the scene and get you started on thinking about what your module might look like on Aula and why, I want to talk a little bit about our high engagement practices and then give you a walkthrough of our platform. So Aula enables academics like you to design and deliver truly engaging learning experiences. But why do we focus on student engagement? Well, over 30 years of peer-reviewed evidence has proven very robust correlations between levels of student engagement on the one hand and positive student outcomes on the other. So the higher the rate of student engagement in our higher ed classrooms, the more likely we are to see improved student grades, increased levels of student retention, and increased student satisfaction scores. But what does engagement look like in practice? Well, broadly speaking, student engagement has two dimensions, the head and the heart. The head, the academic challenge or intellectual engagement as we call it, evidence here shows that students are engaged and learn best when they are assigned activities that require them to be active participants in the learning experience. Here, students collaborate around content and are provided opportunities to test and demonstrate their learning and receive targeted and contextualized feedback. The meaningful connection piece, the effective engagement we also call the heart, here evidence shows that students are engaged and learn best when they feel connected and visible to staff and peers as part of a trusting and supportive learning community. Staff create supportive, caring, and inclusive learning environments that provide the emotional and pastoral support that students require to be successful. On Aula, this breaks down into 4 so-called high engagement practices. Active learning, which is avoiding passive content consumption and maximizing activities that require students to be active participants in the learning experience. Feedback, which is maximizing opportunities to support recall, correct misunderstanding, and motivate learners as they progress through the experience. Teacher presence, maximizing opportunities for interactions which make students feel seen, known, heard, and connected to you, their teacher. And then collaborative learning, which maximizes opportunities for whole class or smaller group work to increase student engagement and build connection and community among students. So let's have a look at how this plays out in practice by walking through a business module that we have. So here we have a demo module for accounting, business, and law. And I'm going to talk about all 4 of our high engagement practices from within this module. So first, active learning. Rather than merely consuming content as they might in a lecture or on an alternative platform, here, each week students engage in activities that require them to be active participants in the learning experience. So I'll go right here to week 2 and let's jump into the pre-class challenge. You'll see that there's an opportunity to watch the video and then engage with that video via an activity that tests them on the content of that video. We move to the live class where students discuss the outputs from that activity, the pre-class activity, with the educator and their peers in this exploration of the work that's been done so far. And then they can develop further mastery in a synchronous mastery activity that they do in groups. Finally, after class, students are going to post back to the feed again with what they've learned. Very short summary of what they've learned so far. And these activities are proven to impact levels of engagement and therefore achievement, retention, persistence, and satisfaction scores. Next, feedback. So Aula works with you to design and deliver activities and interactions which provide opportunities for students to test and demonstrate their learning and receive targeted and contextualized feedback. The main way that this happens is over here on the feed. We go to the community section, and the feed part of the community section is a great place to provide feedback. You can see here that Becca Pencil has asked a question, and we have Dr. Aula responding back to that feedback. Down here, if we go a little further, Walter School has submitted a challenge, and Dr. Aula is pushing them further to elaborate a little bit on that. In addition to the feed, the live session is a great opportunity for students. We'll go back to week 2 live class. It's a great opportunity for students to engage with their educator and get feedback as well. We're going to provide feedback real time in the mastery challenge. So as students are working, they'll get feedback at that point. Research proves this level of consistent feedback impacts both learning through recall and correcting misunderstanding and supports engagement by increasing teacher presence. So High engagement practice number 3, teacher presence. Teacher presence is the interaction between you and your students, which makes them feel seen, known, heard, and connected to you as a human being. So as well as through feedback, which we just talked about, this is also achieved through connecting with students as a human and as well as their teacher. A great way to start this is in the welcoming video. Introduce yourself and your module, and students can connect to you and get to know your personality. Other ways to connect with your students are before, during, and after class of the live session. So if I pop back over here to the live session, you see the opportunity for community building before class. Great informal check-in that you would typically have in person. Easy to do virtually by just scheduling in 30 minutes before class or 15 minutes after class to check in with students. Now, an often overlooked way to have teacher presence felt is in the feed. Now, obviously, we'll be providing feedback there, but students love to just having a reaction is great. You can see Dr. Aula gave a thumbs up here, down further, a rocket ship, and a heart. Those reactions are showing your personality, but also letting the students know that you're around. Active teacher presence is so important in increasing engagement and through that achievement, retention, and satisfaction scores. So our last high engagement practice is collaborative learning. And rather than doing work solo, each week students work collaboratively. Rather than doing work solo, each week students work collaboratively, either as a full class or in teams. And so the best way they can do that asynchronously is over here in the direct message or groups area. You can see I'm part of a demo group and a chat group and a learning design pilot group with Rocky. They can be supported by their peers. Additionally, in the community section right here with the feed, students can post and respond to each other's posts, which improves that collaboration, but also improves teacher efficiency because you don't have to answer every single question. Students can answer one another's. So again, those 4 high engagement practices are really contributing holistically to the engagement of the students, which increases retention, satisfaction, and achievement. So that's the end of my walkthrough, and that's a typical learning experience in Aula.